I'm Holly Gaff. I'm a professor of biological sciences here at Old Dominion University, and I am part of the Old Dominion University tick research team. Our goal is to study and understand the risks of ticks, exposure, and tick-borne disease here in Hampton Roads and beyond, trying to understand what these creatures are doing, where they're coming from, where they're going, and eventually getting back to figuring out what we can do about it.
I'm Heinz. I'm a professor in the biology department, and like Dr. Gaff, I study ticks. I deal with the molecular side of the stuff rather than the field side. So I'm looking for what are the pathogens, the bacteria and everything else that are in the ticks themselves rather than what they do in the environment. So I use, a lot of my stuff is more a One Health approach, looking at the big picture, a holistic approach to how can we help control tick-borne pathogens, tick-borne disease, by saying, okay, if we know what's out there, at least we know what to look for.
I'm Dave Godier. I'm a professor in biological sciences, and I study both diseases of aquatic organisms and also ticks and tick-borne diseases. So I do molecular biology and genomics and population genetics. So I look at how tick populations are connected to each other and whether they're exchanging individuals or if they're moving around. And I have a project sequencing the whole genome of the Gulf Coast tick, Amblyomma maculatum.
So we've been tracking this recent range expansion into our area, and they're a very aggressive tick. They like to bite us. It is the only tick I've ever encountered where you can actually feel the bite. Most of the time they're stealth, but you can see the size of these. You can see her front legs moving quite a bit. That's actually where their sensory organs are.
It used to be down around the Gulf of Mexico, or within a couple hundred kilometers of the Gulf of Mexico, and it has been spreading up the U.S. East Coast very, very rapidly over the last couple of decades, and it's also been spreading up through the center of the country, including into Illinois.
Tick season runs from January to December. Most people will think it's just over the summer, but it's the whole season. Not every tick carries the pathogen that causes Lyme disease. It's only with certain ticks, and that's the same with some of the other diseases as well. There's only certain tick species will carry particular bacteria that cause certain diseases.
So Wayne and I have overlaps in that we both do molecular and microbiology, and particularly we both work on microbiomes of ticks, so all the bacteria that the ticks carry and how that influences their biology. And Holly and I interact in that she's interested in tick populations in the field and what the characteristics of different places are that allow ticks to live there. And I study the genetics of those ticks and look for evidence of how those populations might be interbreeding.
So we do a lot of outreach and we do a lot of education, trying to educate folks on what they can do for ticks. Big things to recommend, certainly if you're going anywhere outside that may have a tick encounter, when you get back, take a shower, do a tick check yourself, check the children, check your animals.
If you do have a tick, then keep it.
Yeah.
If you pull it off, keep it, stick it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in your freezer, so if you do come down with any symptoms later on, you can either take that to your physician and have it tested, or you can send it to us to have tested.